Okay, so hey guys, Mike from Boyer Bows here. Um, Question came up: how do you transition your colors when you're dyeing your bows? A lot of times people like to go. One of the things I've always liked to do, I don't know if it's far from being any kind of a signature of mine, but something that I do a lot, is I transition from a black to another color back to black again. And I like to sometimes I make it a fade from one color to another, and other times I just wrap it. Now the easiest way to do it is to wrap it, because then you don't have to worry about anything. But the question has come up: how do you fade it? And it's not that tough. It's just it takes a little technique. These are Fiebing's leather dye. This is what I really like to use to color unfinished wood. It dries very quickly, and these are the alcohol-based dyes. Okay, so I only have. Turns out I was out of light brown, so I'm going to do a black to red fade today, and I like to use these daubers that come with it. Now, here's the thing. I'm taking a little of the dye off here. I'm just going to do these paint sticks because they're easy, they're cheap, and I don't have a bow at the moment I want to dye. But let's say we want the transition to be about halfway, well, not quite halfway, say about here. The way I do it is I do the black first, and now let's say that little puka right there is the spot. I'm going to take the black almost all the way to the little divot, right? But I don't go all the way there. And then I'm going to come back to my paper towel, and I'm going to take a lot of this extra dye off until I'm almost dry brushing. Okay, the dauber is looking a little cloudy now. Okay, so that feels about right. And I'm just going to kind of flare it. Just kind of give it some flares. I'm not going to make a hard line. If you ever make a hard line with your like a straight line, and then you bring another one up to it and make a straight line, it's really hard to get rid of those straight lines afterward. Okay, so now I'm going to take my red. This red is really old, so it still looks kind of red. I'm going right through the blanket there, but I'm going to lay it on really heavy, but I'm going to take it right up to the flare. So here's geez, this is almost pink, it's so old. Okay, so now you see what's happening. The black has really overwhelmed the red, right? Alright, so now we got our red, and we're going to get the red in nice and thick. I'm going to really lay that red down. Okay? Okay, the wood probably isn't going to take any more until it dries out completely now, but you see I've left the transition kind of alone. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to draw. Now the red will not cover black, but black will cover red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this down into my red. And what you'll see happen is it starts to bleed the black into the red. And the lines are going to start going away. And start fading. And then this red over here is going to be more brilliant of a red than here. It's going to start to look a little darker. And you just keep doing that. Now if you end up, and I'm really just going to about here, I'm just sort of almost repainting the black area. And just brush with your finger a little bit too is good. That way you're not adding any more dye. And you can see that this red here is brighter, gets darker, 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 and we start to get into that transition area. Now, there we go. Now usually I can bleed a little more black in there, but let me see if I can just take the black, and I really want to dry brush now. So I'm really going to get a lot of this black out if I can. I want to almost dry brush with this black on it. pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to come over that same spot, over the black, and I'm going to brush in, get the fuzzies out, and I'm going to brush in to that transition area. See that? Alright, now the color is just sort of fading in. And that's a pretty good fade right there. I would go with that. Now let me take that into the sun so you can really see it. Light may not have been the best, but you should get a pretty good idea what's going on here. See how that sort of faded in? That's what you want. Just always remember that you can always go over the black where you want it to be completely black again and you won't lose anything. But the idea is don't make a hard line. That's the biggest rule. Now I did go past my little divot a bit, but it still is a nice transition from black to red. It's a nice little sort of feathered. And you could keep playing with it, keep dry brushing more red, keep dry brushing more black, and you'll get it where you want it to be in the end. But I mean, just play with it a little bit. But that's, generally speaking, that's the way you go with it. So what did I do? I went from black to red to a red dry brush to a black dry brush. I believe that was my transition anyway. So there you go. And that's how you do it, guys. Hope that helped. Mike from Boyer Bows.